Hello everyone. You may be wondering what I'm doing with this very expensive piece of wood in today's crazy price world. Today I am building a stand to put my transmission on, face down, and disassemble it and see what the damage is. There are splines on the front of the transmission, and I need a sort of jig to hold it all in place while I take the case off and do all that. So I'm going to take this piece of wood, build a little jig, and then we're going to start tearing apart the T56. I don't have a service manual yet, so I might be struggling through disassembly, but we're going to take notes and possibly watch my own video to make sure that goes back together in one piece. I did see some other videos online covering assembly and disassembly of the T56, but right now I just want to get it apart and see what's actually wrong and why I don't have a second gear. Obviously bad synchro probably, but I want to see if there's any more damage and see what new parts I need to order. I know a lot of stuff is on back order right now, but luckily T56 parts seem to be readily available still, so that's good. It's not the prettiest stand in the world, but it gets the job done. Alright, so I'm going to drain all the oil out, or transmission fluid out now. Alright, next plan is I'm going to take these tail shaft housing bolts out. Alright, well, first issue. There's two big magnets on the bottom here, and these collect any kind of metal shavings if there's gears that grind, and they are absolutely caked in metal shavings. I mean, absolutely, like, an insane amount. I'm gonna try to use another magnet and get all that off, but I mean, I have never seen so much metal debris. There is definitely a gear or two destroyed in there somewhere. I think that's, I mean, there's a bunch of schmutz and it's all like probably synchro clutch material. I mean, it's just carnage. Holy crap. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the main shaft. All it really is a whole series of retainer clips and then bearings and these small shims in between. There's a lot of little parts that go all the way down the shaft, gears, everything. So I have to make sure these stay in the right order. So I got a table laid out. I'm just gonna go from left to right in order in which I take these off. I'm gonna make sure I do it in the correct order so they go back together in the right fashion. But like I said, I'm gonna get this factory service manual to rebuild these, and I'm sure they have diagrams that shows how all these go as well. But yeah, there's another look at the little magnets there, just absolutely caked with debris. All right, so got my snap ring pliers here. Hopefully we can get these off pretty easily. And then it looks like we got this guy. This one. Then second snap ring. I got a gear. And I believe this is the first synchro. There. It's cage bearings. This guy. So like I said, I'm just laying it all out as I take it all apart. And we got another snap ring. There we go. Should be able to slide this whole piece out now. Okay, so I ended up getting this piece off. Went like that. I'm gonna try to keep all this together, but here's our shift pads right here that always get worn out. People replace those with billet or brass ones, I think. It just goes right up in here. And as you move the shifter, it moves this whole thing up and down and then gets it in and out of gear. And then these little teeth right here are for the synchronizer mesh. Okay, so this is the 5th and 6th gear assembly. Gears and everything actually look pretty good, look brand new. There's no weird spots on them, so I can reuse that at least. All right, so a little snap ring holding that other shift fork in down there, and this whole assembly should just lift out now. Kind of. Okay. All right, we're getting there. So now I gotta take these main case bolts out, and then these two little hex, I think they hold in or guide the entire guts of the transmission. So I gotta take those out, and then I should be able to slide the whole top case right off. There's the skip shift mechanism, and there's a little detent pin that goes in there, so I had to take all that out so it all will slide off, but it's getting there. Every time I think I have all the fluid out of here, every time I move it, it just dumps a ton more because there's all these little different crevices inside of there. But I got these little alignment pins out. They were a Torx 40, and I almost broke this little bit trying to get them out because I didn't realize they had red Loctite on them. Good thing I didn't strip those out, so making progress. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we're looking at the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gear clusters. Hopefully I can get to that 2nd gear synchro soon to check it out. But I can't really see too much from here, honestly. So I'm gonna have to dig down deeper. There's a bunch of RTV stuck in that bottom bearing. That's interesting. Huh. That can't be good for it. Okay, well here's the final product. Everything torn down. Most of the synchros and stuff look pretty good. The only thing was these little blocker rings. This one is pretty beat up for 2nd gear. They're supposed to look like little triangles, these points, and this one's just totally worn down to nothing. But I should be getting all new synchros. All the actual blocker rings and stuff look pretty good. But yeah, there's like a master rebuild kit for these that I'm probably gonna have to pick up. The one thing I did mess up is the front of the input shaft right here. This bearing sits right there, and I pressed it in the wrong spot and blew this bearing out. But everything else luckily came apart okay. And then we're gonna get that factory service manual and try to put everything back together the way it was. Wish me luck. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done car-wise, so we'll see how it goes. And then I did have to end up using my Harbor Freight jack to press some of those gears off the main shaft here, but it really wasn't too bad. I think the hardest part was the lock ring on the very front was giving me trouble because it's got to go over the top of this bearing, and I didn't have snap ring pliers that would expand big enough to get that snap ring off. But yeah, just a bloody transmission mess of a carcass left, but my little stand held up pretty well. But thanks for watching. I'm gonna order some parts and then do a second video on this, putting it back together. Thanks for watching.